do.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Ecom Seller Summit. Today, I'm going to be talking with Mr. John Bullard, who is an absolutely amazing resource when it comes to working with prep centers and understanding the importance of prep centers and what to do. So, I'll apologize in advance. I have a cough drop in my mouth that I probably should have taken out, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. But in any case, the one thing I want everybody to know is that Uh, we've all been making adjustments to our business because of COVID-19. Everyone has. And that adjustment has required us to kind of look at our business operations and our business model a little differently, especially, when Amazon implements restrictions or guidelines around, oh, we're not going to be sending out non-essential items and don't send in things in certain categories. And now things have eased up and opened up. But the point is that I think all of those people that have been 100% FBAers are like revisiting their business model and going, if they do that again, we don't know what's going to happen with COVID-19 or any other type of interesting thing that we don't want in the future, whether it's another virus or something else crazy. And so having someone else be in absolute control as to whether or not your items can be sold, it's kind of frustrating for people. In addition to that, having all your inventory in Amazon and not being able to, do anything with it. So moving to more of a merchant fulfilled method of business operations is really, really, really a great way to diversify your business. It's a great way to ensure that you still have some level of flexibility in your business. Because we know the post office is still running. The service guarantees are not as the same. UPS is still running. Service guarantees are not the same. FedEx is still running. So all of these delivery services are still running. They are, all of them are hiring because of the fact that more and more people are continuing to buy online. And even after COVID-19 is over, people will continue to buy online. So I thought, this is a great opportunity for John to come on, talk about why you should even consider using a prep center. What are the different ways in which a prep center can make your life a little bit easier? And then you won't get caught up in this, whatever happens at some point in the future. It may never happen again, or it could happen again in another 18 months. But, Amazon saying we're only going to accept this and we're only don't send in any shipments for this or that. And making sure that you have some level of diversification in your business. So thank you, John, for coming out and sharing with us your thoughts, your feelings, just your insight on how people can use prep centers to ensure business operations continue to go on.
Yeah, always a pleasure. As always, thanks. Yeah, and I think it's interesting when you talked about COVID-19 and the next thing. Well, one of the next things is Amazon taking away your ability to have your third-party items fulfilled from other platforms. In other words, if you sell on Walmart and those other platforms, I think it's starting in June that Amazon is only going to concentrate on their outlets and not going to be fulfilling for those other sites.
Interesting. I'll have to go research that. We have a Money Mondays later on today, so hopefully my team members has conducted that research. I hadn't heard that yet, but I've been buried.
Yeah, I think we've all been hibernating a little bit.
Yeah,
But
I'm not just hibernating, but this is like a second Q4 for people, for those people that are continuing to stay active in their business. And so being buried in business operations and taking care of your business and taking care of your family at the same time, I've been buried. So I know I'm not the only one. I know there are other people that have been buried, but yeah, it's been crazy.
Yeah, we've been buried at the fulfillment center. I mean, it's just amazing. And the one thing that I think the forecast of taking out of this whole thing is that there's going to be, I'm predicting at least 30 to 40% more of a surge online now that maintain online than were originally online, because now I've talked to several people and they're like, I didn't realize it was that easy to get product to my house. Now they know. And also you're seeing a lot more people come online that weren't online, and other, not just Amazon, other platforms too. So it's going to be interesting because I think it's also going to bring more competition to Amazon. I think you're going to see more places to be able to find products because of this, because they were forced to go online with their products. So I think Amazon's still going to be the big king, but I think you're going to see people have options more than they did.
Yeah, and they're going to explore those options. I think there's always been a place for those people, those of us who have always bought online. There's always been, alternatives to Amazon, meaning alternatives to buying whatever it is you need to buy. We've always known that. But now there's just a whole new, like you said, a whole new secondary audience that's much larger than we were, clearly. And so I think, yeah, the long term, I think online buying, we know it's up in the 60% right now. It's going to start coming back down again. But, I think it'll hold steady at a 40% growth year over year. I think it really is. And that means that this is a great time for sellers to come into this business and to sell online. This is a great time for them to consider, selling products. Even if it's not, even if you're in a niche, I think it's still a great time for you to get into the e-commerce game and make some money, even if you're not selling on Amazon, even if you're selling on eBay or Walmart or any of the other platforms. This is a great window and a great time to be able to do that. So why don't you tell them a little bit about, why you think, like, working with a prep center? I know he's the owner of My Fulfillment Team, full disclosure. And so they do prep center services. He's been in business operations. You can tell him how long you've been in business operations, but tell him why you think this is a great time to start, engaging your prep centers. And even if you don't do business with him, just thinking about, diversifying your business and working with a prep center versus, always just doing 100% Amazon FBA.
Well, I think a lot of it, especially with the COVID thing going on, I mean, yeah, we've been in business for 9 years plus doing our fulfillment. So that says something about credibility right there. But I think some of the interesting things that are coming out of COVID is that Amazon, I know through my own private label stuff that Amazon is not getting the products to the consumer as quickly as they were before. You're not seeing 2-day delivery turnaround. You're seeing delays in it. You can go in your own seller account and look and see that you've got stuff pending, and it may have been pending for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Where with a fulfillment center, you don't have that. The fulfillment center, they get the products in and get them out quickly. So you are actually beating FBA sellers to the punch by using a fulfillment center. I mean, by using a prep center right now. We see that a lot with essential stuff through the prep centers, just with like clearance items and things like that, where it's taking longer to get into Amazon's warehouses and taking longer to get to the consumer. And the consumer wants those things because their kids are home now from school and stuff like that. They still haven't let them back into the school systems and probably won't until next year. So they want games, they want toys, they want activities, they want crafts. And having a fulfillment center fulfill those for you right now is getting it into their hands a lot quicker.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, with the fact that you are going to see a delay, I mean, people have already been seeing the delay with Amazon, and they, they had it all over their website. They had it advertised everywhere. They also communicated what they were willing to ship. And so now they're opening up some of the other categories. I really think that the reason why they did start opening up some of the other categories is because people were continuing to buy in those categories and inventory was starting to get low. So they needed those other categories to replenish the inventory supply as well. But yeah, having stuff for the kids to do is a huge, huge, huge deal. Activities, crafts, you name it, stuff preparing for the summer. And so tell us, like, your prep center, how has your business has been busy? So tell us, what it's your day to day, like how much has it gone a little crazier? Does it feel like Q4 for you? What are you experiencing?
Yeah, it's beyond Q4. I mean, it's crazy, especially on the e-commerce side, because this time of the year, we all know it slows down. I mean, it technically, when you get to April, May, June, it's slower. And that has not been the case. We got to March, April, and it's just like crazy. I mean, we got 15 pallets coming in at a time. It's unbelievable the amount of stuff that's coming in and being merchant filled, not just going to FBA, being merchant filled. We had to strategically change how we did things with our e-commerce side because of the overwhelming amount of product that came in that had to be sent out. We were sending out and we were not handling it well. We actually got baptized by fire, even though we were in e-commerce, but we got baptized by fire. We were sending out 300 to 500 packages a day. with just merchant fulfilled stuff going out. It's just unbelievable and not controllable. Now we have it under control. And again, it's just because sellers are realizing that they can get it into the consumer's hands a lot quicker going through merchant fulfilled right now than they can through FBA. And
Right.
especially when you start looking at clearance items and things like that, what better way to get it into a consumer's hand before the market gets flooded on FBA? And we all know what happens when you buy clearance. You bring it, they all send it into FBA, and the price goes what? Down. But if you beat them to the punch and you merchant fulfill it, price stays level or even higher because you got it out there before that actually had a chance to happen.
Right.
So it's fulfillment centers can be used for a lot of different things. Storage. I mean, Amazon right now, yes, they waived some of their storage fees, but it's still, as much as they waived it, remember, having it in a fulfillment center, you don't have to worry about your metrics. Your metrics are in the fulfillment center, not at Amazon. So that can affect your visibility and how you're exposed to Amazon's market by having it at Amazon and not selling through the way you were. Amazon did not say, hey, we're relaxing our metrics. I guarantee you they haven't relaxed their metrics. So at a fulfillment center, it allows you to at least keep it somewhere and have inventory where needed so that when you need to replenish it, it can be replenished and you're not worrying about having overloads of inventory at Amazon and your metrics getting affected. So that's a huge point right there. The other point is, with China and the way it is right now, even though they've opened up again, you send things from China over to Amazon, and guess what? You have to buy a large quantity, and then again, it's sitting at Amazon. You're going to sit it. You're not. Amazon's not releasing the products like they were before, although they've opened up some things, like you said. They haven't opened up everything. I can tell you that from just having a fulfillment center, that there's a lot of customers that we have that still have not been opened up because of this coronavirus that's going on. So now you've got all the products sitting over there where you're going to have it sit there and do nothing. You could bring it to a fulfillment center. And plus, a fulfillment center is your eyes. Amazon's not your eyes. With Amazon hiring another 100,000 people, you have to be pretty crazy to think that Amazon is going to have that 100,000 people know everything they need to know about receiving that product coming from China. They don't. They make mistakes all the time. They just will put it in there and it'll go out to the consumer. And then guess what? If something's wrong or if it was repackaged wrong from your manufacturer, Amazon's not going to care. The consumer is going to care. They're going to say, hey, listen, I bought this and it came this way and it was the wrong item. Well, a fulfillment center can be your eyes and make sure that those things don't happen. So you don't have to worry about getting caught and zinged by Amazon, which Amazon right now is paying attention to a lot of things more so than they ever did. And, price gouging and all that stuff that's going on right now. So a lot of things, when you have, I'll give you an example. If you send something from China and you wanted it to go out, and here's one way it can cost you a lot of money. You wanted a 4-pack of something, and you wanted the 4-pack stacked on top of each other to keep it so it's a standard package. You've been dealing with your warehouse or your distributor or manufacturer in China, and they've always packed it on top of each other. But for some reason, this time they decided, after all these times you've been ordering for them, that they're going to put them side by side and send them to Amazon direct. And then guess what? You get hit with the oversized charge, which you weren't suspecting. It's going to go out to a consumer, which you'll never know. And then you're going to wonder why, how come I didn't make that money? Because you were in the loop. You don't know. Amazon's not going to care. They're going to send it out with the oversized and charge you. But if you have a fulfillment center, you can catch those things, get it repackaged, and recoup a lot of that money before it ever gets to that problem. So there's a lot of reasons why it's very vital to make sure you have that middle person or a fulfillment center being your eyes and checking your product, not just for quality, but for the way things are packaged. And if they're not packaged the way they're supposed to be, it could cost you. We had one client that had, like I was talking about, the 4-pack come the wrong way, cost them thousands of dollars because it was sent right into Amazon. What did they do? They pulled it from Amazon and brought it to us because that was happening right during Corona. They couldn't sell it anymore because it wasn't essential. It had to come back here. So instead of it sitting there, we brought it back here, prepped it the way it needed to be. And it ended up costing them less money because they would have never known the situation if one of them didn't happen to get out, or I don't know how many, if you got out to customers and they saw the fee that they were getting, they saw that they were getting oversized charges. So that's the only way they would have known, or otherwise it would have just sat at Amazon for how long, we don't know. But it's just things like that. You have to be real proactive when you're when you're dealing with that. There's other things go into it too. I mean, we've had clients where they've actually sent the stuff directly to Amazon. Their manufacturer did on their behalf, and these are some big name clients too. But what happened is the manufacturer saw how much was going over there and how much they were making and cut them out and decided to go there themselves. So that's basically the only way that would happen, is because when it came from the manufacturer to Amazon, it came in the manufacturer's own packaging in their own shipping boxes. Those shipping boxes, when they come to us, are destroyed. We don't use them. We use our own brand new boxes to prep so that we don't put that radar on your product when it goes to Amazon. They're not looking when they open it up, hey, look at this. They're looking at, wow, we got a pallet of 50 of these cases and they're all the same from this company. Maybe we should research that, because we all know Amazon researches our product. So let's not give them the easy way and let them see 50 boxes of the same manufacturer and try to, give them the help that what they're looking for. Let's make it harder on them and have it go somewhere where you have it put into boxes and make it so that it's just plain boxes and Amazon can't be the wiser, because the regular workers aren't going to do it. But if there's somebody that's walking around a shipping warehouse in a management level and they see 50 of these cases and they're all the same, that red light goes off to them.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of reasons why you want to use a fulfillment center, and that's, like I said, we've seen several customers where they were pumping out product like crazy into Amazon, and Amazon decided to contact their manufacturer and cut them right out. Just cut them right out.
Yeah. So I think there's going to be a lot of interesting things. I won't say all of those interesting things. I think there's going to be inventory that have been previously ordered pre-COVID, that's been arriving, and it's, sometimes it ends up being stranded on the docks. So the inventory's got to go somewhere, and it'll end up getting sold in liquidation somewhere. And, people like myself, I have kids. So trying to juggle kids and your job and trying to juggle your business all at the same time at home is going to be challenging. So having the opportunity to buy liquidation bulk, like there's going to be companies that are going to be going bankrupt as well. So being able to buy inventory in bulk, being able to buy it in to liquidation inventory, that's stranded inventory, and being able to send it to a prep center versus having it in your house, that's a bonus. Those of you that are trying to figure out how to start an e-commerce business and you still changing diapers or dealing with toddlers, trying to keep them inside the house, or, don't climb out the window, or whatever the case may be. Kids get involved in stuff, kicking the ball and it goes through a window somewhere. Like, oh my God, kids will just drive you crazy. So having to deal with kids and inventory in your house and having limited space, you send it to a prep center, that will solve that problem. Send your liquidation stuff to a prep center, that'll solve a problem. Send your stuff that you're buying from your wholesale supplier, send it to a prep center. Let them deal with it so that you can keep your house cluttered and somewhat sane during this crazy time, because it'll make your life a whole lot easier. I literally, John will tell you, had a conversation with him last week, because I have a storage unit. I think it's a 20 by 30. I don't know. I think it's a 20 by 30, I think. So I have a storage unit that's piled like, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 tubs high. I don't know how many deep, long, or whatever, maybe 7 or 8 long. And it's not 100% packed, but it's pretty close. Then I have a garage full of stuff, and then I have living room. And I was like, John, like, we're doing business. Let's go do this. Let's go do this. Like, get this account created. I got to get this stuff out of my house, because, again, I know I'm not the only person that can identify with this. It is a great thing to make a lot of money in e-commerce, but to make a boatload of money and have your house cluttered at the same time, it will eventually drive you nuts. So sending it over to a prep center, letting them deal with it. All you have to do is deal with the listings. They give you software so you can go ahead and check your listings. It's a great thing. And in addition to that, even if you're going out sourcing, let's say you're sourcing. If you're sourcing, then you can package up that stuff, send it directly to the prep center. And again, list your things as merchant fulfilled. And the other thing about it I like is that, if I'm selling on Walmart and I'm doing merchant fulfilled, John can handle any of my merchant fulfilled regardless of the platform. So I could be selling Mercari, I could be selling Walmart, I could be selling Amazon, I could be selling whatever. And his team can handle my inventory. I don't have to be trying to find boxes for stuff, send it. It just makes life a whole lot easier.
Yeah, and I agree. Get the house back too.
Get your house back. Yes, you get. I mean, your sanity is already gone. Let's just
I
because
tell you, that's how we started. We started in our house, and it grew so much. When my wife says, "No, you need to get a warehouse," we got a warehouse, and then eventually to a prep center. But I think the other thing we talked about, Nicole, when we talked last, was Amazon not promoting for you. In other words, when you send stuff to a prep center and you've got new products or something that you want to put samples in, a prep center can do that for you along with your business cards and take care of that avenue for you. Where you don't do it, you don't put it out on Amazon and say, "Hey, listen, buy this and you'll get this." Your competition is none the wiser. They have no idea what you're doing. And what are you also doing? You can put a business card in there. You're going to build a list, which Amazon doesn't allow you to do. They don't want you to do. Well, we all talk about Amazon as being the vehicle, but let's not it be the main vehicle or the only vehicle. Let's diversify. And by doing those things and having a prep center work with you and putting those extras inside there, because we talk about this, Nicole, all the time, is when you're selling something to somebody, always over deliver. Always over deliver. And that's over delivering. Say, hey, I sell makeup line and this new makeup came out. I give you a sample. And on your next order, I'll give you 10% or 20%, regardless of what it is. And here's my business card. And because you're using a prep center, guess what? You can go with the business card and say, you can pick it up on my website.
Yeah.
You can direct that traffic wherever you want because you're not having Amazon fulfill it. The prep center is, and by having the prep center do it, you can direct things. So you could say, hey, listen, I'll give you 20% off. All you got to do is go here to get it. Or if you want to do it on Amazon, you can, but you're still going to be able to recoup the customer because you're going to have your business card in there with your email address and say, hey, email us for specials.
Yeah. Sign up for our newsletter, our monthly newsletter, whatever. The other thing is bundles. So for those of you that have just unusual pieces of inventory and you're going, that would be awesome if I could make this bundle or somebody could ship this bundle to my customer. Just think about what a prep center can do for you. They can help you with the creation of your bundles so that they're ready to go when you send them out to a customer. You can take the great thing about it is you have mix and match. I have a lot of different pieces. So, I've got everything I needed for back to school. So I could deconstruct the back to school bundles that I previously made and recreate them in a different way. And again, you can work with the prep center. You send that stuff to the prep center and say, I'm going to send you X number of pencils, rulers, composition notebooks, whatever it happens to be, folders, and ask them to put them together the way you want. And again, you can work that out with the prep center versus what you would pay Amazon, because they're not going to be as specific with the bundles. They're only going to do certain things with you. And so the expense that you're going to spend doing Amazon FBA versus using a prep center, they're going to be negligible. Those costs are going to be so close to each other that it pays you to do merchant fulfill. Plus, I don't know that anybody's ever looked on most FBAers, they're focused 100% on what they see on Amazon for their when they put in so FBA versus seller fulfilled. And so if you pay attention to the seller fulfilled and see how much of a difference in the cost, again, the cost, that difference that you're going to be paying by going with a prep center, it's going to be fairly similar to if you had sent it in FBA. So I just want to encourage people to look into that. There's a link up above if you would like to set up an account with my fulfillment team. I think it's a great opportunity for you to get the inventory out of your house. Your kids are probably driving you crazy, so you don't need inventory and your kids driving you crazy. Just get the inventory out of your house so then you can at least regain some of your sanity. Some states are opening up and some states are not. And even after the states open up, people are still going to continue to buy online. There's going to be some people that are just not going to go out. And I will say this, for those, the vulnerable, it makes sense. Now you have a whole new population of people that either are immune compromised or maybe not. Maybe they're on high blood pressure, diabetes, whatever, high blood pressure medication, diabetes, whatever it happens to be. They're going to continue to do what they can to minimize their exposure to this virus, however long this virus is hanging out, or it may never go away. And so buying online is going to be their thing. And you could be that supplier, that provider of those people that need to be able to continue to buy online regardless, because of the fact that their situation is such that they can't go out. That population is going to always exist at this point, and they're always going to be identified as a population that needs to be served. So that's a niche opportunity for those people who are paying attention. That's a golden nugget. But in any case, what else would you love to share with them about prep centers,
Well,
John?
I think one of the important things about prep centers is there's so many out there, but I would look at the longevity of them. How many have been around? And the ones that have been around, this says a lot about them. That means they have, check out the credibility of them. I mean, one of the things you should do with a prep center, if you're first testing them out and you're like, hey, Nicole says this is great, my fulfillment team, it sounds awesome, but I'm not sure that I know what they do. Send some stuff in, have it prep sent to yourself. Look at how the process is, see how everything goes, see if it's the way you want it to be, or, just you should always spot check and make sure that they're consistent in what they're doing. And like I said, reputation means a lot. It takes a lot in this world or in this economy to last 9 years in a prep center nowadays. Most businesses feel in the first 3 to 5 years. You don't stay around unless your reputation is there and you're doing things right. So I would just say, regardless of the prep center that you decide to use, I would check their reputation, and I would make sure. One of the biggest things is that I say is that you should be using somebody that is familiar with Amazon or familiar with online selling and familiar in how to prep things. And make sure that before you even send anything to a prep center that you're familiar with how to prep something, because
Yes.
how do you know if the prep center is doing it right if you don't even know how it's supposed to be done?
Absolutely. 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 I tell people never outsource your business unless you know how it's supposed to operate. Once you understand how it's supposed to operate, how long something should take, I don't care if you're outsourcing listings or if you're outsourcing prepping, you know what's involved in getting something sent into Amazon, or you know what's involved in getting a listing put up. So yeah, never outsource anything unless you know how it's supposed to operate first. Then you can automate it or streamline it, but you should always continue to spot check it as well. Definitely. I agree.
Absolutely. And we built this with the mindset of, our people that work with us are like family. Like Nicole, she knows my heart, she knows where I'm at, and we do it because we want to see sellers succeed. And the only way that can happen is if we're doing our part and you're doing your part, then you're going to grow. So we try to make it so that, based on what you're doing with us, that we're going to put you in the best position. Your product, I mean, you can look online. There's never been anything from my fulfillment team that's come back from Amazon that's been our fault. We go by all strict guidelines of Amazon and make sure, and we're one of the few centers that do that. There's a lot of them that cut corners, but this is not about that. We're not going to talk about that. But I'm just saying, we take pride in knowing that your product is like our own product and it gets sent in the same way. So we're not going to do anything to your product that we wouldn't do for our own product.
Yeah. So I want to encourage you guys just to look into using a prep center. Consider it. This is a great opportunity for those of us who live for Q4. I think the reality is that we're going to have a perpetual Q4. A Q4 is going to be irrelevant, and that's just my personal opinion. You heard it from me first. I think because of the number of people that are buying online, the number will remain high, and so it will always be insane. I think this year's Q4 will probably look like the current like Q1 and Q2 numbers, the end of Q1 and beginning of Q2. But I think the following year's Q4, when the economy has stabilized, because there's a lot of people that have lost their jobs. And so building up that income and getting back to where people were, they may not spend as much for Christmas as they would have in the past, but they're still going to be buying. They just may buy a little bit less. But the difference is that there's going to be X number more buyers, like exponentially more buyers online than there were ever in the past. So I think that number is going to continue to grow, not just in the US, but also globally. So I just want to encourage you, if you're an e-commerce seller and you've been playing around in your business, it's time to get serious. It's time to get real. It's time to consider diversification of your business. Consider a prep center. Consider not only just selling on Amazon, but learning how to sell on some of the other platforms, and also taking advantage of, different ways in which your inventory can be put together. Consider bundles. I just think that there's so much opportunity. And John and his team, with them being a prep center, they can put your inventory together where you want it. They can help you with maybe some ideas about what's happening with your inventory and the traffic that they're seeing. They can put together suggestions to help improve what's happening for you. And if you got some input or feedback you need on listing ideas. I'm sure that John is like, he'll take a look at it. I'm sure he has some ideas about it. But I just want you to think about how you can maximize the opportunity that's before you right now. This is a new wave of Q4, and it will maintain this level of, nonstop traffic for a while, and then it's going to continue to go up. So when you think of it that way, this is time for you to get serious in your business, to get educated about your business, to do a better job about sourcing. There's going to be companies that are going to go bankrupt, so be looking for those bankruptcies, and also be looking for the store closures, and be looking for inventory that you can take advantage of and buy at a deep, deep discount. The other thing, I do want to say this. For those people that are going out of business, maybe some brick and mortars that are around you where this event has caused them to seriously have to close their doors permanently. If they have inventory, they could continue to maintain a presence online by engaging a prep center like John's. They could continue to make some kind of money. So you could bless another business by telling them about prep centers. All you have to do is just share the link. Let them know, hey, I understand you're struggling. I sell online. If you're a person that sells online, I sell online, and I would like to help you guys get a presence online. And oh, by the way, I don't have to handle your inventory. We can send all your inventory that's currently in your brick and mortar store, package it all up, and send it to a prep center. And I can help you either get your Facebook page going. Facebook is free. Twitter is free. Instagram is free. Pinterest is free. All of these things are free. And they could establish a relationship with John because of you. So if you know someone that's got a business that they've had to shut their doors, they sell a product, they make a product, they produce a product of some type, this is a great opportunity for them to transition to a prep center as well if they don't have the manpower to ship stuff to customers. So
I agree. Here's my main thought about what you talked about Q4. My main thought, and where I see things, knowing I've been around for a while now and knowing trends, I think that the coronavirus is a bad thing. But I think for online, it brought more exposure to online. And here's my thought process. Q4 is going to go away. There's not going to be a Q4 like it used to be. I feel that Q4 is going to be more spread out throughout, where we had those gaps. And this is what I'm talking about. We had those gaps where you had your seasonal stuff and you had other stuff that it was slower. Amazon sellers had slower. That's going away. There's just too many more people that are aware of how to buy online now that you're going to see it's going to be not Q4 levels, but it's going to be high levels because there's going to be more exposure to your product online all through the year, not just in Q4. Here's the other thing. There's going to be more opportunity for you to sell on different diversified markets than ever before, because this showed a lot of people that they can now. There's a flood of 30 to 40% people that are going to maintain online. We need to get our products on. We need to have a site up where we can have people sell on there. And you're going to see that because of this, there's going to be more of that in the next 3 to 5 years. I predict there's going to be more Amazons coming up, and there's going to be more opportunity for you. And right now is a gold mine for you to be online because of everything that's happening. And you don't have to come in like I did nine plus years ago or whatever. Amazon started with the books. I think even longer than that. You don't have to learn the learning curve like I did. You already got the market. You've got more people out here now that are going to buy online than I ever had. Back when I did it, it was a little bit different. But now there's so many more people that are exposed to being able to buy online that I'm telling you that you're going to see. Yes, Q4 will be Q4, but you're going to have a Q4 in the spring, in the summer, in the fall. It's going to be Q4 all the way across because why? More eyeballs are not just on Amazon now. More eyeballs are actually buying on Amazon. That's going to make a huge, huge impact. I don't think anybody realizes what's coming.
I agree 1,000%. I was telling my team, I think we're done with, not necessarily done with Q4, but I don't think that we're going to see, like, the numbers are always going to be high like they are during Q4. And right now, like you said, the numbers are exceeding what anything would have happened during Q4 in certain categories. So there will be the categories will go up and down, like certain categories will go up because you're still going to have the toys that are going to sell like crazy. around Christmas. But the fact of the matter is that selling online in general, the numbers that people make historically around the Q4, which is October, November, and December, it's going to be that way all the time. All the time. You just have to be able to fluid, to be able to move into different categories and be flexible about it. And then also be prepared to sell on other platforms. That's the other thing.
Yeah, all you have to do is, I mean, just start, if you want to know if more people online, just start Googling garden supplies or those type of things, people doing gardens. You just kind of look at that and see, and go on Amazon and see how many more products are on there. People right now, like I said, those seasons are going to be more flourishable than they were because you got more and more people online buying. And they're like, hey, I can get this delivered to me and I don't have to go out there and fight. Why would I?
Yeah, I agree. So all of us have kids. I got a kid. He's over here making noise.
That child's a blessing.
That child is a blessing. So this is what I want to encourage you guys to do. The link up above. Take a look at My Fulfillment Team. Create your account. Engage John and his team. If you don't want to work with My Fulfillment Team, that's fine. We will be talking with, I think, Pauline in Canada here pretty soon in the next couple of weeks. And so I just think it's a great opportunity to look at diversifying your business even more. Also making sure that you're flexible and fluid in your business instead of just being stuck with Amazon FBA, because then they're holding your inventory hostage and then you have to merchant fulfill from your own inventory in order to get it moving. So not that, it may never happen again the way it did in the last 2 months, but it may happen again. And so this is a great way to make sure that your hands are not 100% tied. And if you're going to look at other prep centers, I just want to encourage you, look at prep centers that have been around for a little bit and look at prep centers that do have a history. You don't want to be the person that, even though they got amazing prices, you don't want to be transition your business to a prep center that is new to this business, and they're going through the learning pains and growing pains of what it takes to run a successful prep center, and they're learning on your dime and your back. So let's not do that. Let's go with a prep center that's been around for a while. And I just want to encourage you to take a look at John Bullard and his team. And like I said, we're going to be talking with another prep center out of Canada that also does Canada and the UK, and we're going to talk to them as well. And I don't know, John, do you do Canada and the UK?
We're looking into Canada. I'm not sure about the UK, but we're looking into Canada. It's just a matter of, we have the software. We're one of the very few that go through the API of Amazon. So when you're doing that, the coding is very, very technical to be able to make those switches to those other platforms. I am working on it with my developer to see if that makes sense. We may not do that. We just may recommend people that want to sell in Canada go to Pauline. I have no problem. I have no problem working with other prep centers. We're here if you need us and you want someone that can professionally do it, that's been around for a long time. But as anybody knows me, I went out and I taught about how to, build a prep center and how to, work a prep center and at conferences for a long time. And I created a lot of my own competition, but I know God is good and we can't do it all. So, but we're here if you need us and you're looking for someone that's been around.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for taking the time today. I hope this information was helpful to you guys. I hope that you got some definite golden nuggets. We gave you way more than 4 tips and strategies. So we just want you to take the opportunity, continue to be active and aggressive in your business. This is the window. This is the time. Don't let up off the gas. Be wise about your choices. But again, right now, it feels like almost everything is selling outside of essential products. I mean, that's the thing. And so take advantage of that. You got inventory in your house, reclaim your house space, send it over to John. If you have inventory you're not able to work, it's sitting in a storage unit, just send it over to John and his team. Let them handle it, or find a prep center that you like. Okay? And we hope this was a blessing to you. Thank you, John.
Yeah, and I would lastly just say that with the COVID virus right now, I love the way people are sharing. And if you could reach out and help somebody, and it doesn't have to be money, it could be just your knowledge. You'd be surprised. Just giving somebody the knowledge they need to do something to make their life a little bit better is a sweet thing. So don't always think that you have to give them money. You can just give them knowledge, and let's all try to make the world a little bit better.
Absolutely. I agree 100% all day, every day. All right. Well, thank you, John. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you as well. Take care. Thanks, Nicole.
All right.
I